Hello, my name is Dylan, but you can call me Buttercup. Welcome to Buttercup Yarn Art. It is the first day of Halloween month, which means I'm going to be talking. October is my favorite month. Halloween is my favorite holiday. So I'm very excited that it's October. And today, since it's been a while since I've talked about what I'm working on, that's what I'm gonna do. I will say right off the bat, I have that giant queen size blanket that I've been crocheting, but that is in a bag under my desk, and I don't feel like taking it out and stuffing it back into its bag. I haven't worked on that in quite a while. I will finish it. I am determined to finish it, but I haven't worked on it in a while, probably since the last time I showed it here. So there's nothing really significant to talk about there, and we're gonna move on because it's not that interesting right now. First, I will talk about my Silence Tea by Ruth Lynn of Red Earth Design Studios. This has been in progress for a while. I finally, this week, finally finished the body. You can see the bottom ribbing down here. I am very excited about that. It's hitting in a good place when I tried it on. So I finished off the body, and I wanted to get at least one sleeve done yesterday, but my work day wound up being really busy, so I only managed to get through picking up the stitches and the first round of the ribbing. Like I said, work wound up being really busy for me yesterday, so I wasn't able to take care of the whole sleeve like I wanted. I was very close to picking up way fewer stitches than the pattern calls for, just because the number that the pattern calls for seems really low to me, but I decided to trust the pattern. That's kind of going to be a theme today, trusting the pattern. But I decided to trust the pattern and the density of stitches that it wanted me to pick up. I had to modify that anyway, because I made the armholes bigger than any that the pattern calls for, because my arms are big and beefy and I needed more room for them. So I wound up picking more stitches than the pattern called for anyway, but I went with approximately the same gauge for stitch pickup, the same density. I don't know what the correct term I should say is there, and I'm not going to look it up because I don't feel like it, but I followed that. And I have my little skull stitch marker from Katrinkles that I've been using to mark stitches in this the whole time. So that's where that's at. I'm hoping to finish it before Thursday, October 6th, because I am participating in Stephen West's Twists and Turns mystery knit-along, and I would like for this to be done before I start that. So I think I'll be able to, because all I have left are the sleeve cuffs and the neckline ribbing. That's it. I am so close. I can almost taste it, but I'm not gonna lick the fabric because that's just too much. So that is what's been going on with that. So let's get that out of the way. Hopefully without dropping any stitches. I dropped a few stitches when I tried it on to determine if the body was long enough. Oopsie. So that's that. I'm going to tilt the camera down a little bit to look at the rest of what I have here. And I will mention, if you're still worried about spoilers for Sharon Air by Casapinka, that's what this is. I'm going to be unfolding it. The knit along is over, so I am considering the pattern out. I don't know if the full one will be coming out at any point, but I will be talking about that, and it's right here. So if that's something you're still worried about, maybe stop watching now. Or please don't. It's very pretty and I'd like you to see it. So that's that. So that's Sharon Air. This is Autumn Dahlias. And this over here, sneaky little guy, is 100% wool. You may have seen it in my last video where I was poking at microphones, but this is 100% wool yarn. And if you have watched any of my videos before or talked to me for more than 5 minutes about yarn, you're probably a bit worried right now that I'm touching this and handling this, but I'm fine. And that's what I want to talk about with this project. I'm fine. A couple of weeks ago, I had an appointment at 8:30 in the morning and an appointment at 11:30 in the morning and a couple of hours to kill in between. So I went to Joanne, and if you follow me on Instagram and kept up with my stories at the time, you know this already. But for those who don't watch stories or don't keep up with my Instagram, I went to Joanne because I can kill an entire day in there if I need to. And because I make good decisions, and there was my traditional camera punch, if you were paying attention. Because I make good decisions, I decided to see if what I call my yarn detection superpower still worked, which is where I hold something made of wool and wait for my hand to start burning. So I went to the yarn section and I found some yarn that I knew had wool content in it. It was about 20% wool. I picked it up and I held it and I held it and I held it, and normally I would react to the presence of wool within a few seconds. My hand would start burning and I would develop hives over about the next 20 minutes or so. But the burning sensation would come first. So I was holding this yarn, nothing happened. I rubbed it on my arms, nothing happened. And I figured, okay, well, this is only about 20% wool. Maybe that's why I'm not reacting to it. Let me find something that's 100% wool. See how I do there. And so I went and found some 100% wool yarn. I checked on the label. And I picked it up and I held it. Nothing. No burning sensation. No reaction. I rubbed it on my arm. No reaction. And I got really excited because in addition to being allergic to wool, I've always been really upset about being allergic to wool because I really like wool as a fiber. It is one of the most sustainable fibers available. It is extremely versatile. It is extremely useful. It is an easily renewable resource. The sheep need a haircut, and we can use their hair to make really versatile fabrics. Like wool will even keep you warm after it gets wet. The thing about cotton is that if it gets wet, it will not keep you warm anymore. And that's most plant fibers as well. They will sap your heat if they get wet. But wool will still keep you warm. And I have always wished that I could use it because it is such a great fiber. It's such a great material. And I couldn't until now. So, I got this yarn. This is the colorway Abernathy from Nerdy Fibers. Unfortunately, Nerdy Fibers is closing up shop. But I am very glad I was able to snag this yarn before they went out of business. It's a beautiful colorway. I'm just doing really simple seed stitch so that it will lay flat on its own. I'm also doing a slip stitch edging to keep the edging neater. And my plan with this is making it will be part of my testing, and if I don't react while making it, I will then move on to wrapping it around different parts of my body to see, to, like wear it and make sure I don't react. I'm going to start with my arms, and I'm going to move on to my legs, wrap it around my waist, and if I don't react in any of those places, I'll move on to wearing it as a scarf around my neck and by my face. And if I still don't react then, I will be so relieved because that'll mean I'll be able to use wool. I will be so excited. I want to be able to use wool. I want this to work. I want my allergy to have gone away. I really hope that's the case. I might cry if it turns out I can use wool now. That would be beyond exciting to me. So, that's what this is. I've been working on it a little bit, mainly focusing on getting my silence tea finished. And once that's done, I'll be working more on my little experiment scarf. Okay. I really should have put autumn dahlias in the center, so I'm going to do that now. I finished autumn dahlias, which is exciting. I haven't taken full pictures of it yet. The full pattern is out. But this was a really nice knit along. My theme lately has been trusting the designer. So take this down, unfold it, so I can show it to you in a bit more detail. So this is the end where it started. Started out with 3 stitches of blue down here, went up this way through these little tweed sections, as they're called, up to some mosaic. A little bit of eyelet lace, some more tweed, more eyelet. I believe this motif here in the pink lace is supposed to be flowers. It looks like butterflies to me. And some more mosaic at the halfway point. And I have to say, approximately here at this gray garter stitch, I went, oh, I know how the rest of this pattern's going to go. We're going to go backwards through the color combinations and stitches that we did before. But let me be patient and see how it goes. Well, you can already see we've got that flower lace motif from before as we keep going, and the eyelet section in the opposite color scheme, and the tweed, and the eyelet again, and the mosaic again, and more tweed, and we're in gray garter stitch now instead of blue. And turns out I was right. It did go backwards through all the color combinations. It's not a symmetrical shape, but it is symmetrical in the sections. So you get to that center mosaic section where it turns the corner to start narrowing down, and you go back through everything you've already done in basically the opposite colors as before. And then you pick up a bunch of stitches along the edge and make a picot edging. So here's where my theme of trusting the designer comes in. I thought the edging was going to be something like an I-cord kind of edging. I think that would have looked nice as well. And when I read the instructions for this picot edging, I was kind of tempted to not do it. And when I started doing it, I was tempted to rip it out and do an I-cord instead. I did not necessarily enjoy doing the picot edging. It looks really nice. And I'm glad I did it and trusted the designer. I think if I were to knit this pattern again, I would go for some kind of I-cord bind off for this edge. I like doing I-cord bind offs, and I think it would look a bit cleaner. But I had never done a picot edging before, and the thing I like about mystery knit-alongs is that they push me out of my comfort zone and force me to do things that I normally wouldn't necessarily choose, like this picot edging. I think it worked out really well, like I said, but it took a long time. It took a whole day. Not to pick up the stitches and knit the row in between the pickup and the bind off, but just to do the picot bind off. Took a whole day. So this is not a quick and easy bind off. This is a slow bind off. It gives a really nice effect. It's a really nice look. But it is slow. So keep that in mind if you're deciding to do a picot bind off. They're not quick. I will have to fold that back up again. I may not have considered this fully. So that's that. And finally, if my wires will all stay out of the way, thank you, is share an air. And apparently there were some people who were concerned about the size of the shawl as it was going, and may have wanted to keep options open for further length. I chose to trust the cat, as the pattern says, and knit it as written. And I'm glad I did. It is beautiful as it is. I really like it. So it started over here like a top-down triangle shawl. Little tiny garter tab. I've punched the camera so many times today, I am so sorry. Started with a little tiny garter tab, worked up and up and up to here, and then took all the stitches on this side and did this actual butterfly lace motif and these cool fun textures, a lot of garter stitch out to here. Then we came back. My voice does not want to cooperate today. Came back over here to the other side of the stitches that we didn't pick up before. Did more butterflies. And I will say, I chose the order of my colors specifically to have as little black and red touching as I could. Black and red is a very nice color combination, but those were also my high school colors, and I hated high school. So I tend to avoid black and red as a color combination, and this is the only place in the whole shawl that has black and red together. So I have this little bento box section, these little paw prints here. Don't know how well you can see them, just because of the angle, but these are cute little paw prints. There's supposed to be a texture in here. It's kind of hard to see though. That might be a function of my yarn. I followed the instructions. I did what they said. So, and then here, a nice kind of garter-ish section. And the option to make it longer was to repeat any of the side sections if you wanted. I think if I knit it again, I might torture myself and do all of the sections for both sides on each side. So on this side, do all of these sections out to here, and then do all of the other side sections before binding off, and then come back over to the other side and do them basically backwards. Start with the butterflies over here, go all the way out to here, and start again with the butterflies from the other side. Again, I haven't taken full pictures of this yet, but this was really fun. It's adequately sized for me. I haven't blocked it, and I don't think I'm going to. I don't think for my purposes it needs it. But it was really fun. I really like the design. I really like the colors that I chose. And I really like the finished shawl. So, yeah, I'm really, really happy with it. And as I mentioned before, this isn't even my last mystery knit along for the year. I'm doing Stephen West's Twists and Turns. That's starting on October 6th. I have my yarn and everything. I got it in Halloween colors, which I'm very excited about. I still have to line those up, but I have time for that. I hope you can hear the rain. It's so nice. But I am running out of time on my camera's recording limit. So I just want to say I have really been enjoying the mystery knit-alongs this year. They've been a lot of fun, and I have been enjoying the product the finished shawls that I've been making. And just like with Casa Pinka, with Sharon Air being my first Casa Pinka / Sharon from Security pattern that I ever made, Twists and Turns will be the first Stephen West pattern that I ever make. I have other patterns from both of them. I just haven't made any so far. But I'm looking forward to seeing what Stephen West is all about, seeing how his designs are to work up. And I think a mystery knit-along is great for that, because I don't know what's coming. I don't know, what I'm going to be doing, so I kind of do have to trust the designer and go with what they've written. So I think for me anyway, it's a good way to learn if I like a new designer's patterns or not. New to me, not new as a designer, obviously. But that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.